Yeah, what's going on, people? Welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers live. We're live. We're here talking to you in New York City. I'm Howie Dewey. What a weekend! Holy shit, what a weekend! Look, we came out last Wednesday. We talked about the weekend coming up. We talked about the Army Navy football game. If you listened, hopefully you took Army in the over. The over was 27 and a half. I came out a few different pods and said for the first time in 7 years I was going to take the over. Did you guys see what the hell happened in that game? Did you see what happened? So I'm pumped up about this game. I put my bets in. And what's crazy, I live in New York and I'm driving to Connecticut to watch the game with a good friend of mine. So if you live in New York, you know the deal. You can't bet on any college team from New York State. I can't bet on Syracuse, Buffalo, Siena, Iona, Marist, Stony Brook, Columbia. I could go over them all, man. West Point, Army is one of them. I can't bet it unless I'm in another state. So what do? I drive to Connecticut. Works out nice. I go to Connecticut. I see my buddy, good friend of mine from college, and he put on a great spread. My boy Mike in Reading, Connecticut, man. We had chili, we had wings, we had a great time. Pumped up for the Army game. So I bet Army, and I bet a two-game parlay. I take Army, and I take the over 27 and a half. If you watch that game, you saw what happened. I think going into the third quarter, what was it, 10-0? Fourth quarter, the over-under it went from 27 and a half down to 16 and a half. I was dead. I was dead in the water. History. No chance. And Navy fumbled. We picked it up, ran it in. 17. They came down, scored 17-7. It's 24. And if you saw what happened, Navy with a minute and a half to go, somehow they don't move the ball the whole entire game, and somehow they just move the ball down the field to the 1 yard line with like 4 seconds to go. 4 seconds to go, they're on the one. 4th and 1, they don't get in. They don't get in. Game's over. It's Army's going to cover the spread, and it's going under 26 points. Or is it? I was dead. I'm like, I'm screwed. I am history. And all of a sudden, my buddy said, no, man, they're going to take a safety. They're going to make sure that this is a win. It's a W. It's going in the books. It's official. And you saw what happened. They literally ran the ball in the back of the end zone, and the final score was 17-11. That's 28 points. Not 27 and a half, 28. So we hit the parlay. We started off the weekend like that. I'm actually texting Haley, who's not with me today. She's telling me to send her the live stream link. I don't know. You know how I am with technology. I'll figure it out after we're done. But I'm on a roll right now, so we got to keep going. Then there was a few good college basketball games Saturday. The one I really liked, I talked about it on the podcast, was Utah was playing Brigham Young. Brigham Young's got a good team this year. Utah was playing at home. They were, I think, plus 3.5. We went with Utah. We won big on that game. I can't think of the other game we had, but we had a few games on Saturday. So what happens? We go into Sunday. I'm going to tell you this right now. I always talk about parlays on here, and nobody wins betting parlays. Usually if it's a 3-game parlay, you'll hit 2 out of 3. If it's a 4-game parlay, you'll hit 3 out of 4. But on Saturday, I don't know what led me to do this, but you know what? I'm going to tell you exactly what I did because I got it right here on the phone, baby. So here's what I did. On Saturday, I played a 12-game parlay. I took Washington basketball plus 4.5. They won by 3. I took San Diego State money line. That's the one that almost screwed me because San Diego State won by 1. They should have won by a lot more. They won by 1. They beat Cal Irvine. Then I took Sung Yadong. Anyone with the name Yadong, he's got Dong in his name. So that was MMA. I took that guy. He won. So then I basically played some games on Sunday. I took the Ravens money line. They barely won in overtime. I had the Saints money line. They won. I was feeling ballsy, so I took my favorite team, the New York Jets, plus 3.5. They crushed the Houston Texans. Then I had the Niners, minus 6.5. They won 28-16 over the Seahawks. Then I had the Cowboys last night. Money line. Tough game against the Eagles. They smacked the Eagles. So there's 8 out of the 12 I hit. Here's what I got left for tonight. And this is where anyone listening, you're going to benefit. You're going to benefit if you're listening to this. Tonight, I have the Miami Dolphins minus 6.5. The line's 13.5. I have 6.5. I have Tua has to throw for 250 plus yards. You know, his number's 287. I lowered it to 250 plus yards. Jalen Waddle, his second most popular receiver on the team besides Tyreek Hill, has to get 40 plus yards receiving. In my final pick of the night, to bring home the cabbage, I need the New York Giants to cover 6.5 points. The New York Giants have to cover 6.5 at home tonight against the Green Bay Packers. That's the one that's going to sift me. What sucks about this is that both these games, for the first time this year, both these games are playing at the same time. They're on tonight at the same time, 8:30. So I can't really hedge. There's 4 different odd things going on. You know, if Waddle gets 39 yards and twists his ankles out for the game, I'm screwed. If somebody slaps him in the head and he has his 55th concussion, I'm screwed. You know, the Giants could get blown out. I don't know. But I like where I am on this. You've nailed 8 pretty hard games and you got 4 left. Hey, who knows? But here's what I'm going to do. If you are listening right now and I look up and one of 2 things, if you follow me on YouTube and I see a new follower and you hit me up, and if this parlay hits, I'm going to send you $50. Oh, yeah. You can buy Venmo, PayPal, whatever the hell you want, Cash App. But if you're listening to this right now, if the Dolphins win by more than 6.5 points, if Tua throws for 250 yards or more tonight, and if Jalen Waddle gets 40 yards or more, and the New York Giants just don't lose by 7 points or more, if you leave a comment, or you're a new subscriber, and those 4 things happen, hell yeah, get $50. That's coming from me. That's automatic. Here's what it is, man. I like what we're doing on this podcast, the Degenerate Gamblers. We're proving it. This is the parlay right here. See if you can see it. This is it, backwards. And those are the 4 at the top. I need the Dolphins 6.5. I need Tua 250 yards plus. And Jalen Waddle has to get 40 yards receiving. And if we go down to the bottom, you can see the dreaded game, the New York Giants, the very bottom. I'm getting 6.5 points. Look, this parlay's got a chance of hitting. It does. And if you are a new subscriber, you just leave a comment afterwards. DM me on Instagram, Howie / Dewey, or on Twitter. I'm going to send you $50 if this thing hits. I promise. Why not? Let's share the wealth, baby. We can all root the same thing on. That's what it's all about. That's why you bet, right? With your buddies. That Army-Navy game was insane. That was the most exciting thing. And the first thing I thought is, I've bet the under the last 7 years in a row. You know how pissed I would be if that safety, if he took the safety? My buddy from college probably would be missing a TV right now. I'd probably have to buy him a new TV. But it was a good weekend, and it's getting more exciting because we only have 4 things we need left to hit. And I say that, you guys, if you know anything about gambling, you know how hard this is. So that's it. If you're listening right now, and you leave a comment on this episode, or you're just a new user, I look up, you're a new follower of Howie Dewey. Look, if the Dolphins win by a touchdown, If Tua, with 7 points, they got to win by more than 6.5. If Tua passes for 250 yards or more, Jalen Waddle gets 40 yards or more receiving, and the Giants just don't lose by more than 6, I'm going to send you $50, man. We're getting T-shirts made up right now for the Degenerate Gamblers. This thing's going to get crazy. So that's where it is right now. I'll mention it again before we leave. But we have huge things, huge games tonight. We got big games. We need the Dolphins to roll. Dolphins need to – I'd love to see them up 42-0 in the first half, and Tua's got his 200. Waddle's got 50 yards receiving. You know, Giants are up 10-7. I'll be happy with that. You guys will too, because I'm going to send you $50 if this parlay hits. Oh, yeah. And I see 2 people just subscribed. So, yeah, Jonathan Muir and the other guy, you're the first 2 dudes. If this parlay hits, you're getting $50. It's just the way it is. And, you know, this isn't the first time. I'm going to tell you, I'll let you in a little secret. I was in a parlay earlier this year, and it was another 12, 13-game parlay in Oklahoma. I had Texas to beat Oklahoma, and Oklahoma won on a last-second touchdown to screw me out of enormous amount of money. So we're going to get back at them tonight. We're going to get back. We got like Whiskey Sour, K12, Fender 122. You guys are the first 3 in, man. You guys are the first 3 in. Whiskey Sour's talking about shirts. I will hit you up. We got shirts coming. And Cowboys won last night. That was huge because I had them. I needed the Cowboys to keep this parlay alive. So, look, if you're listening, and the Dolphins blow them out, and Waddle and Tua have decent games, and then the Giants somehow miraculously don't lose by a touchdown, you get $50. It's just the way it is. $50. Let's talk a little bit about college basketball. We've been crushing it this year in college basketball. And like I say, when I bet college basketball, I look at matchups. I look at maturity, how old these teams are. That's why a month and a half ago, I took Clemson to make the Final Four at plus 3,500. I took Clemson to win the ACC at plus 1,500 because they have a bunch of old cagey veterans. This team's undefeated. You saw what they did Saturday. They beat the piss out of TCU up in Toronto. Clemson is a solid squad. I like them. That's why I took them this weekend. They cover just about every week. Teams like that, teams that worry me a little bit. Teams like University of Miami and Florida, good guard play, but they can't rebound. They're getting killed on the boards. You get killed on the boards, you get blown out. Look at Michigan, what they did to Iowa last night. That was another matchup nightmare. I did not like Iowa. They get killed on the boards. So far, looking at some of the surprise teams this year, St. Joseph's out of Philadelphia, they could beat anybody on a given night. Some of these small schools you got to watch. Creighton is a juggernaut. They play somebody big next week or this week. I think it's in the SEC. Creighton might be Alabama. Creighton is tough. I would not want to play Creighton on the Big East. St. John's, Rick Pitino, he's having problems. Boston College beat the shit out of him last night, and I know he's not happy. He's got to do something with the defense. They turned the ball over too much. Doesn't look like a Rick Pitino team. But in another surprise team, look at Nebraska. Nebraska, I think, is undefeated. They beat the shit out of Michigan State last night. They have good players. University of South Carolina has good players. Colorado, watch what they do in the Big 12. I would not want to play Colorado. Very good team. Hit the boards. They're nasty. I'll go over this whole season. Teams to load up on, teams to stay away from. There's some certain teams that just couldn't cover against anyone. There really is. There's some teams you just can't bet them against anyone. Northeastern, not a good squad. But I look at tonight's slate, And tonight is it's not a big slate, but there's two games that pop out at me tonight. And the one game is an earlier game. Where is she right now? Howard University, Washington, D.C. They're coming to Philadelphia, not far. And they're playing Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania had a rough weekend against Kentucky. Penn should be 7.5, 8 points here. They're not. They're minus 5.5 points. I think Pennsylvania can win this game. Howard is not bad. Don't get me wrong. They actually have a decent squad. But I think Penn gets their shit together. They beat this team by 10, 11, 12 points tonight. I like Penn minus 5.5. You go on later on. Listen to this one. The Zags, Gonzaga, they have their normal solid team. They're not great. They're good. But they're playing Mississippi Valley State. This team would have trouble with a lot of Division III teams. I'm telling you this right now. Speaking of Division III, my alma mater, Cortland State University, in the National Championship Division III Friday night in Salem, Virginia, playing North Central, Central North, I don't know. Some school out of Illinois. Who the hell knows? They're in trouble. We're going to beat their ass. Friday night in Virginia, national championship. But Gonzaga's game, they're laying 40.5. Holy shit. You realize that you're getting, if you're Mississippi Valley State, you're getting 10 points every 10 minutes. Up, down, whatever. Every 10 minutes, you're getting 10 points. You got to be bad to not cover 40 points on any level. I think Gonzaga probably wins this by 60. Yeah. When you see one team laying that much wood, they usually cover it. I'm just telling you, that's something you need to remember. So I do like them tonight. I like them over Mississippi Valley State with the 40 and the hook. And I like Pennsylvania beating Howard by probably 7, 8, 9 points. And I'm looking at the rest of the games. That's all I like tonight. Now tomorrow's a different ball game. Tomorrow we got games tomorrow. We got LIU going in to play UMass Lowell, who did not play great against UMass this weekend. I like them tomorrow. I like UMass Lowell tomorrow. They're probably going to spank the shit out of Long Island University, who was bad. That is a bad team. You got Monmouth playing at Seton Hall, two New Jersey teams. King Rice, head coach of Monmouth, going into Seton Hall minus or plus 14.5. They'll probably cover that. Two in-state teams, a little bit of a rivalry. I think they'll cover that. Good teams tomorrow. You got Hofstra going down to play Duke. You think that line will be 22, 23, 20. The line's only 15.5 points. We know Duke's not that good. Hofstra's decent, but 15.5? You can't cover that, Duke? I don't know. Georgia Southern has to play at University of Tennessee, getting 32.5. Tennessee will probably cover that game tomorrow. Georgia Southern's terrible. Tennessee's solid. Tennessee just came off that beat down this weekend. They're very good. Good guards. Woo-hoo. Then as you go on tomorrow night, you got a lot of interesting games. You have a lot of interest. You got a few more. You got Oral Roberts playing at Texas Tech. Texas Tech's minus 12.5. Oral Roberts will probably cover that. And then here's one. California Baptist. You got to watch these schools. They're playing at Oregon tomorrow. Only getting 12.5 points. Oregon, I know they have an injury. I'm going to look into that tomorrow because that's a game they should be blowing them out. They really should. Love it, man. So, guys, you guys listen. K-12, Banner and Whiskey, you guys. Hell yeah, man. I'm going to go over it again. This is what you need tonight. We already did most of the heavy work. You need the Dolphins to win by 6.5, 7, not 6.5. Can't win by half a point. Maybe they'll put that rule in someday. You need Tua to throw for 250-plus yards. You need Jalen Waddle to get 40 yards or more. You listen, Jonathan, because you're in on this too, brother. Then we need the Giants just show up, make it a close game, man. Giants lose by 6. Those other 3 Dolphin props cover, you win. I'm sending you $50. So now you can watch this game and you have some skin in it, baby. You got some skin in it. Dolphins should cover that. I hope so. Jesus. Here's the thing about the NFL, though. There are no locks. You don't know. Usually the opposite is going to happen. I hope people are saying this could be a close game and that the Dolphins aren't going to just blow the shot because you know the way it works in the NFL, man. They're all good players. But a little luck. We get a little luck here. We can pull this shit out. We can pull this. K12 says, how much time do you spend doing research? I just read all the time. I get up early. I read. I read the stock market. I read about sports. I spend most of my time doing colleges, NCAA football, basketball, NBA, NFL. I also have other people. If you ever watch or listen to 4 Deep Bets with Tommy G, I love those guys over here, especially for props and stuff. Those guys are amazing. Those guys are solid. I'll toss stuff off of them. But I research all the time, all day long. Markets, commodities, oil, gas, pharmaceuticals, staples, discretionary. That's all I do from morning till night. That and walk around New York City and just come up with material to write jokes. It's a weird life. Yeah, I didn't ask for it. I don't know. I'm old now, though, so been around a while. So we got 2 games tonight in the NFL. 2 games tonight. We got the Green Bay Packers, who have been on a roll, this new quarterback, coming into New York. It's going to be shitty weather. It's going to be, probably a little bit sprinkling still, but it's going to be cold. They're used to it, though, up in Green Bay, so that shouldn't affect it. We got to hope this kid, Tommy, whatever the fuck his name is, for the Giants, just don't turn the ball over. Don't throw 3 interceptions. Don't fumble the ball. That's all. Give us a chance. Just give the ball to Barkley 78 times tonight, right? We'll be good. Yeah. Hopefully the Giants can hang in there, man. If the Giants hang in there, we got a shot. The Dolphins blow them out, we got a shot. It's not like this is a crazy – this could happen. I mean, it's not – I did the math, and just those 3 Dolphins props, the Tua, Waddle, and the Dolphins winning by 6.5, that's only plus 105. That's about even money that happens. So that could. You take the Giants, plus 6.5, that's minus 105 too. Almost even money. We got a shot. We got a shot to win this. Yes, we do. So fuck it. Let's just stay positive, and let's see what happens. Long story short, the Jets and the Giants, I've always tried to stay away from them. It's like the great comedian Artie Lang said. He said, I used to be into girls. I think he said his father told me, but girls, you never know with them. One thing you can be sure about is the Jets. The Jets will always fuck you. Yeah, been a Jet fan my whole life, and I don't go to the game yesterday. We blow the shit out of Houston, But luckily, the Jets were one of the teams I had in this parlay. I had the Cowboys, the Niners, the Jets, the Saints, the Ravens. I had Song Yadong, MMA. I don't even know why I bet an MMA guy. It was one of those deals on a Saturday. I just fuck it. Washington basketball, plus 4.5. They won. San Diego State basketball, money line. They won. So, guys, it's down to the Dolphins. Can the Fins, let's just score a lot of points. Fins score 40 or more, I think we got a shot at hitting that part of the parlay. With the Dolphins, Tua tossing 250 or more, and Waddle getting 40 more yards. I think we got a shot. The Giants, just gotta hope they don't turn the ball over. That's really it. Just don't turn the ball over, and we have a chance. Let's talk real quick while we're here about the NBA. Let's talk about the NBA, because we've seen a lot of weird shit with the NBA this year, especially with scoring. The great thing about the NBA is that you can, and I'll give you a good example. Tonight we got, here's a perfect example. We got the Pacers playing at the Pistons. These teams play no D. These teams play no fucking defense. But they score. Holy shit, they score. Pacers, I mean, this kid, Buddy Hield and Halliburton, these kids just get the ball up and down the court, and they score. Pistons have some good young kids. The over-under on this game tonight is 247. 247. That's pretty high for an over-under. Pacers are -7 playing in Detroit. So the good thing about this, and we talk about live betting all the time, is that let's say I took the over. Let's say I took the over or let's say I took the under. Let's say I take the under 247. And all of a sudden at halftime, you got a score of 60-50. That's 110. You're going to see that halftime number, 247, drop to about 230. What do you do then? Take the over. Take the over. Then you might nail both sides. You can nail both sides in the NBA often. But that's one game that just jumped out because that under-over is extremely high. Another high over-under, the Washington Wizards playing the Sixers. The Sixers, it's 245. The Sixers should score 140 points themselves. I mean, Washington plays no D. They're terrible. Looking on the slate, this is a good game. I almost went to this game tonight. If I didn't have this 12-game parlay going, I would have gone to this game. But the Toronto Raptors are playing the New York Knicks. Knicks are only -4. That over-under is down to 220. And that makes sense because these two teams don't score a lot. The Knicks can score 130 or they could score 70. You've seen them. We're missing our big guy now. Mitch Robinson's out for like 8 weeks. So now we got to play Hartenstein, whatever. I kind of like it. I just don't think he can play more than 25 minutes a game. He gets tired. He's a big dude. That's going to be an interesting game right there. We got some other type. Look at this one. Utah Jazz. Here's how bad they are. They're playing at OKC, getting 12.5 on the road. You know, that's a money line bet. 500. Utah is plus 500. Okay, so they're good. But, you know, they got problems. Josh Giddey, he's like, geez, I hope nobody finds out I banged that 14-year-old. Actually, I think she was 16. I don't know. That's probably legal in Australia. They're down there banging kangaroos and shit. Who knows? You got the Bulls playing at the Bucks. Bucks are -11.5. They probably will cover that. The Bulls got problems. Whoa. That's a team that has talent, and they just suck. They're horrible. So wouldn't surprise me if the Bulls – plus the Bucks got to be pissed they got knocked out of the tournament because they, you know, once they found out they each would get $500,000, they actually wanted to win it. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, we did have a lot of upsets, man. I definitely will play. Yeah, next time, you know what? I should have posted that parlay everywhere, and I didn't because I was like, this has no chance. Kind of like last year during the Super Bowl. What do? On our Cash Daddy's Patreon, I come out and I predicted the exact score. I think it was 37-34, Kansas City over Philadelphia. But I picked the score of the Super Bowl last year. I never posted it anywhere else but the Patreon. A few people actually nailed it and made thousands. I was not one of those. NBA Finals, I mean, there's 8 teams that could make it. I have to stick with the Bucks from the East. I think they'll figure shit out. They just have so much talent. Unfortunately, I do like the Bucks from the East. And how the hell are you going to beat the Phoenix Suns if they're healthy? I mean, I don't. I mean, the Warriors possibly. Phoenix Suns are loaded, you know. And of course, I say that, and you got to beat Denver first. I mean, you can say what you want. Jokic beats everybody, you know. So you got the Nuggets and the Suns out of the West. Probably, you know, the Celtics will have a great year, and they'll get beat in the playoffs like they always do. So I really got to stay with, you know, and you can't toss Miami out. Jimmy Buckets gets his shit going. And watch the Pacers. This Pacers team they got good young kids. But the Bucks are the team to beat in the East. They definitely are. Dame Lillard. Are you kidding me? You got Dame Lillard now? Jesus, they got players, man. They're loaded up and down. I still think for value, college, Clemson to get to the Final Four, win the ACC. That's a legit chance. I really do think it is. Tons of games in the NBA tonight. I'll probably stay up and watch the Portland Trailblazers. I love watching the Clippers. If the Clippers ever get their shit together, they could be interesting. The Sacramento Kings, tough to beat. The West has a legit 4 or 5 teams that could make this. And I still say, how do you beat the Suns? How do you beat the Suns or the Nuggets? So basically, that's it for tonight. Today's Monday. We're going to run this thing back in 2 days on Wednesday. Holly's going to be here. We'll be talking about hockey. Patreon should be set up hopefully tonight or tomorrow. But more importantly, there's 6 people have logged in, whatever. Anybody that is on this, that is listening now, I'm actually going to screenshot it because if you're here, man, and this parlay hits tonight, you get $50 coming, brother. So the first 10 comments, or new users, I'll lump you into one group. But the first 10 comments on this pod, first 10 different people, if this parlay hits tonight, and I'm going to go over the parlay. I'm going to say it again. If this thing hits tonight, you win $50. You're not even betting. So here's what you better root on. You better be sitting there hoping the Dolphins win by a touchdown. You better hope Tua throws for 250 yards or more. You better hope Jalen Waddle, all he's got to do is get 40 yards. He's projected for like 75. Jalen gets 40 yards more receiving, and the Giants cover 6.5, those 4 things, you get $50. Let's go. Until next time, peace, people.